Renee in Manhattan, you're on WNYC with Andrew Yang. Hi, Renee.
Good morning. My question is police, police, police. I'm an African-American woman, and obviously the present mayor that we have has lost his backbone. It's turned into jelly. But I think it's a detriment to the city that our tax dollars are going to all these settlements. And wouldn't it be better that most of the settlements come out of the pension of the police that are committing these crimes against its citizens, especially when they're found guilty and they get away with it? We also need a different type of police chief that is more community-oriented, and to have more police living in the community they serve, not just a few. And the last thing is, it would be amazing if these police would not come from high school to being policemen, but to actually have a background in college, maybe traveling, so they'll be able to commute and commune with the citizens that they're serving.
Andrew, what's your response?
She is so spot on every front. We are spending hundreds of millions of dollars to settle lawsuits against police officers. And talk about the worst possible way you could be spending city money. I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars that could be going to schools or essential workers or keeping people healthy instead is going to settle lawsuits against abusive officers. So she's 100% correct that we need to curtail that level of expense. And to the extent that that cost does exist, it should be borne by the folks who are actually doing wrong, not the city. She is right that we need a civilian police commissioner who is independent of the culture of the NYPD. That's the only way you can change a culture is from the top. And we can actually learn from what we do at a national level where the military is run by a civilian. We should do the same thing right here in New York. And she is correct that new officers should be required to live in the city, hopefully in the neighborhoods that they're actually policing. Because talk about being able to understand the community better. You should be of the community, certainly when you start on the force. And that, I believe, could fundamentally change the dynamic, because instead of seeing folks as strangers or potential perpetrators, you see them as your neighbors.
Do you support Attorney General Letitia James's lawsuit that would impose a federal monitor over NYPD protest responses?
I think that the need is clear, and I think that a federal monitor could make a lot of sense and be very helpful, because at this point we can see that the NYPD could use some kind of check or monitor.